Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book review and it's going to be about The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. Now I mentioned this in my TBR, my February TBR list, that I wanted to read this one and I did. If you guys want to know more about this book, then keep on watching. So I purchased this book a while back. I purchased it last year in the middle of the summer. I don't quite remember, but I picked it up from Target. As you can tell, 20% off. It is a romance novel. Now I gave this book actually a 5 out of 5 stars because I've loved it so much. It has a second chance trope, so if you're interested and you really like second chance tropes, this one's probably definitely something that you should read. It's about two characters named Annika Rose and Jonathan. It has both POV, so this takes place in 1991 and also in 2001, so it's a 10-year gap. First 1991, both Annika Rose and Jonathan, and then later on in 2001, both Annika and Jonathan's POV as an adult, well, as an older adult, I guess. So Annika's very different than everyone else. She likes to be alone. She doesn't like being around social people. She doesn't like to socialize. She is very picky with a lot of things. She doesn't really get along with people, mainly because she's weird, as people call her. Since a very young age, she was getting bullied because people thought she was very weird because she did things differently. It took her always a while to, you know, have response to people. So she wouldn't really understand if people are making fun of her, if they're joking, if they're like being nice, or if they like were teasing her or flirting with her, because she's obviously very pretty. She's blonde, blue-eyed girl, you know. But her mom took her out of 7th grade, and from there on she basically homeschooled her, so she was very sheltered. She never really was the type of person to be able to communicate with people because she just couldn't. She always did prefer being in quiet areas, like loud music, being around people and everything just being loud. She just didn't like it. She couldn't deal with it, so she would always have a headache right after those situations. So she really loves to read books. She loves to play chess. Eventually, when she turned 18, she obviously had to go to college, so her mom sent her off. Well, both her parents sent her off, but it was very difficult for her because she didn't know how to do much things. She had trouble communicating with people because, like I said, she doesn't really like being around people. And then there's Jonathan, who was, you know, the swimmer. He was very smart and intelligent. He always had a bright future for himself. He wanted, you know, to do better for him because it was just him and his mom growing up because his dad died at a very young age. They meet each other one day at a chess club meeting because Annika loves to play chess, and there's always only one person that she would play chess with because, like I said, she doesn't really get along with people. So everyone thought she was weird, so no one really played with her besides one other person named Eric. And one day Jonathan pops up and wanting to join the chess club team, and Eric was like, got you. So he teamed them up. Annika wasn't a big fan, but she won him. And after that, Jonathan was kind of intrigued with her because she was very quiet and he just thought that she was shy. After that, every meeting he just wanted to play with her even though she didn't really want to. So they kept playing with each other, and eventually they developed a friendship that later turned into a relationship. Now she does have a roommate named Janice, who is like her best friend slash sister because she helps her out a lot. And the thing is that Annika never realized that her mom actually contacted Janice's mom the first time that they found out who was going to be her roommate for freshman year in college, and asked her if she could do her a big favor and, like, you know, take care of her. And the reason behind that is because Annika actually is autistic, so she is in the autism spectrum. She's very high functioning. She knows how to do things. It just takes her a lot longer than other people. Since this was in 1991, they really didn't have a lot of things that could help her back then, growing up, because obviously there wasn't a lot of like research and studies on that, so they really didn't know what to do with her. And the reason she got it is because her dad is actually also autistic, but he's a very high functioning autistic person, so they're able and they're capable of doing their own things up to a certain like point. Everyone always thinks that she's weird, but it's not that. It's just that she's autistic and she doesn't like communicating with other people, has a way of talking to people and having a way to just, she'll be talking to someone and then she'll see someone else and she'll just walk away without saying bye or hi or anything like that. Jonathan is intrigued with her. He actually really likes her and they're very cute together, I would say so. you know, they form a relationship and it's very cute. He becomes everything to her, not in the way that he helps her out with everything, but like it's her first love. It's literally her first kiss, her first everything. For her, it was something different and hard to do because she's never been in love before. He has, obviously, so he was teaching her like how to do things and stuff and how to be in a relationship. Something tragic happens to them that eventually he moves on and graduates, and she has to stay behind because she's missing some classes to do. So he moves to New York because that was their plan, to move to New York right after they graduated. She was gonna go work there because what she wants to do is work in a library because it's obviously quiet and peaceful, so it's somewhere where she would literally like love. He ends up going. They communicate through the machine, obviously, because she stops answering because she gets depressed because of what happens between them, and eventually they just stop communication. And as much as she loves him and as much as she wants to be with him, it gets to a point where she just can't deal with it because she has to cope on her own. He ends up finding someone else. That's when things stop. 10 years later passes by and she is at a grocery store and he happens to be there. So he says hi to her. She says hi back. She's obviously scared, but she's completely different now. At this point, she is somebody she's somebody that he doesn't know, which is why hence the name of the book, The Girl He Used to Know, because she is a grown adult. She does things on her own. She lives on her own. She works. It moves on from there. They're getting to know each other again after like him getting divorced, you know, a year after she finished her relationship with someone else that just wasn't treating her right. And they move on, and it's basically a second chance for them, and they rekindle their love, and it's so cute. And I like highly recommend you guys to read this book because it's just, the love story there is something different that I've ever read. I don't know if it's because she has autism or what it is, but it's written so differently. Like, I literally read this book in one day, and that's like so rare for me, but I just couldn't let it go. Like, literally had pauses here and there, obviously because I had to use the restroom or because I had to go do other things, but I literally would come back and I was able to get back into the mood of reading this book because that's how good it was written. And I know that there's some people out there that just don't like it because it's a story about autism, I'm assuming. And honestly, I've never read a book where the character is autistic, and I do know some people here and there who have autism, but I've never met someone who is high functioning. So for me, she seemed normal. She seemed completely normal. She literally seemed like someone who just doesn't like to be around people, and that's it. The way that they describe her, like, it's completely different, and I really enjoyed it. And it's beautifully written. There's also some really sad parts. I think there's 2 really sad moments in the book. The author does have a whole page, like right before starting the book, what she researched and how she researched and who helped her to make this book exactly accurate, to describe the person who has autism, to describe the university that, you know, they're at, and the chess club and all that. Like, she literally had like research done and communicate with those people. Obviously back in 1991 was a completely different time than now, so I think the research is different, so I think that's why some people are offended by it. But I mean, for me, it was good. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was, I'm not saying it was accurate to the point, but it's because not everyone is the same and not everyone acts the same. For me specifically, I enjoyed it a lot, and I highly recommend it to everyone to read it. Like I said, I don't know how many times I could recommend it, but it was a cute romantic story that I think I needed after reading like a horrible book. So I think this one helped out a lot. I did get recommended this book from TikTok because there's this girl who does book TikToks and she was hyping it up, so I picked it up, and I'm so glad that I did. It's such a quick read. It's a really short story, actually. It's literally only 292 pages long and like 45 chapters, but the chapters are so short, so you're going by it like real quick. This is the first book that I read by this author, but I'm really like hoping to get into more of her books. The other books actually also do seem interesting, and I've seen it on Goodreads and they have good ratings. If you guys read this book, let me know down below what you guys thought about it. I would really like to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!